Jupiter Broadcasting presents this program in stereo, where available. This episode brought to you in part by GoDaddy.com.
This week on the Windows Action Show, Microsoft is rolling out the latest version of Windows, and it changes everything. Tune in to find out just how revolutionary this amazing new UI is and how it leaves the competition in the dust. Plus, Microsoft cracks down on evildoers and so much more. Oh, this week on the Windows Action Show. And welcome to season, let me double check, 21, episode 3 of the Windows Action Show. My name is Brian. That guy next to me, as always, is Chris.
Hey there, Brian. Check it out. This transparent three-dimensional desktop runs Windows. This has actually been put together by Samsung. And
What the heck is that thing?
Check it out, dude. It's a transparent OLED screen that projects objects onto it that you can then manipulate using Kinect technology.
Oh, wait, so it's not... It doesn't just look 3D, it actually is 3D?
Well, it's through the screen. If you looked on it, see, here's another angle of it. If you look at it from the other side, it's only through the screen. Now, doesn't that remind you of, like, Spock? Remember in Star Trek?
Totally does.
Yeah, what he's doing.
Totally does. But,
yeah.
dude, so you've got, like, a slit that's, like, 3 inches high that you have to stick your hands through?
Yeah.
That looks awesome, though.
That is... There you go. Look, they're launching Skype.
Oh, they're launching Skype.
I don't know about it being transparent, though. That seems a little
Well,
weird.
here's the thing. I've always said Skype needs to be 3D projected onto a screen. Otherwise, I'm not happy.
You have always said that. That's funny. And now, look, it's come to fruition.
Shabammy.
Hey, B-Man, boy, do we have a big show today.
Big show.
Everybody out in the entire industry has been talking about Windows 8.
Yep.
And, of course, we're giving you our preview right here on the big show of Windows 8.
Full review.
Yep.
Windows 8 consumer preview.
We
edition.
are consumers, and we will consume it today.
We are consuming it and then previewing what resulted after we consumed it.
That's true. That's true. Also, a big new famous game has hit the app market. We're going to talk about that.
Boom.
And also, I think we've got a great pick for you guys in the app section.
Boom.
So hang in there for that. But first, we need to say good morning to GoDaddy.com. Oh, look, Brian,
Chris,
I'm in the Danica
you're in the Danica spot.
So, listen, Brian, everybody
You got to
knows.
fix that. You got to fix it because when we put up Danica, I want to be able to see both you
Well,
and Danica at the same time.
Look, you see, I have these buttons on this switcher, and this button is specifically the Danica shot. You see? Look,
I see that. I like that.
Look.
You need to label that.
I know. Well, it's just that's the only thing.
Mostly
I use
so I know.
That's the only thing I use that button
I need to look
for.
over and see just a picture of Danica and bam, Danica
Well, look,
shot.
B-Man, it's April 1st, and everybody knows that all of the offers we had expired in March. We had some great offers, but they're all done.
They're gone.
Oh my gosh, I think GoDaddy is in the spring spirit. Maybe it's Danica just trying to get it in your good graces. I don't know what it is, B-Man, but check this out. If you use the
I
code...
tell you this much, Danica is needy.
Yeah, well.
She is needy.
Yeah.
Needy Danica.
Race car girl.
Race car girls.
So if you use the code 599COM8.
Wait. 599COM8.
Dude, check it out. 599COM8. You get up to 5 .coms for $5.99. You just buy
like $5.99 each?
Yeah, you get like 5 of them for $5.99.
Wait, no, like so.
You buy 5 each. 5 each are $5.99. Each are $5.
So it'd be like $25 for 5 of them.
For 5 domains.
Okay.
That's a really rocking.
Well, I didn't want to get it wrong. I didn't want people to get people's hopes up and they think that's like a $1 domain name or something.
I know. Otherwise, Danica calls you. Also, though, if you're just doing something else,
she can't call me anyway.
Maybe doing some Rockstar renewals. Keeping on top of those things, which somebody needs to be doing. Just saying.
Hey, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
If you use the code, ready for this, Spring 8. Doing some spring renewals, Brian. Spring 8, or just for whatever you're checking out, you get 15% off your entire order over at thegodaddy.com.
15%, that's it?
Yep.
15% GoDaddy?
Yeah.
Come on, where's the love? Where's the Windows Action Show love? Give us 25% next time.
Well, 15% is a pretty good deal.
Well, 15% is pretty good.
Most shows are just getting 10%.
Well, those are a bunch of loser shows.
I know it.
Loser
All right,
shows.
B-Man, are you ready to move on? And thanks to GoDaddy for sponsoring this week's episode.
Thank you much.
Of the Windows Action Show. All right, I got an app pick for you that I think everybody's been waiting on. It just hit the market just a couple of days ago. Grab your Windows Phone 7 phones, folks, because Minesweeper has hit the market. That's right. Minesweeper's here now. It's a little bit watered down. It's not the full-featured Minesweeper that's been on the Windows desktop for about 25 years. So it's not quite as feature-rich, but it has a lot
It's like Minesweeper Mini.
Yeah. No ratings as of yet. It just hit the market.
Here's the thing, though, guys. Some Minesweeper is better than no Minesweeper.
Yeah. That's wow.
That's how it goes.
Love the description on this one. It's obviously an author, just like me. Simple Minesweeper that just works. That's the entire description.
Honestly, I think he went a little too wordy there.
Yeah,
he should have just put, it's Minesweeper.
Free app. It's available in the Windows Phone 7 market right now. And if you say get free app, you get that free app on your Phone 7, Windows Phone 7.
That's right. You got yourself together there?
I'm good.
All right. And we keep going. Now, we got a pretty cool app pick this week for desktops.
What?
We got a cool desktop app pick, and it is Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Here's the great thing, and I don't know why we haven't featured Photoshop before.
You know, I think we've avoided
it. I mean, because it's so big.
We've done like 203 episodes. I think we just didn't want to cover something that everybody assumed we would always pick. But you know what? It's come time, B-Man. It has come time. This app deserves the respect.
It deserves some respect. So, and here's the great thing. It's Photoshop. You know about Photoshop. You love Photoshop. And sure, you could drop like $8 billion and buy Photoshop and run it on a Mac. But who's going to do that,
Not
really?
me, Brian.
Not me either. So you're going to be running it on Windows, and that's the great thing. And here's the other thing about Photoshop. It's one of those apps that there's no alternatives to, and you really can't get this up and running on any of those other kind of freedom-y hippie operating systems. Photoshop. Photoshop, suckers. It's effing Photoshop.
Build a career around it, yo.
Boom.
That's right.
Boom. West
Side.
Wait,
man. Good
West Side.
You know, I use Photoshop every night. Every night I'm just putting together like photos of cats. Or whatever.
We don't know what the hell you're doing.
No, I don't either.
You don't
All
know
right, B-Man. Well, great pick. And thanks to GoDaddy for sponsoring. But you know what it's time to do? You know what?
I don't know.
Let's do the news.
Oh. What's new in the news this week?
All right, B-Man. Well, thank you for asking what's new in the news.
You're welcome.
I've actually assembled the action docket.
I've decided to start doing that now. I'm going to ask you what's new in the news.
Well, thank you.
Instead of demanding that you tell me.
Well, that's kind of you, sir. Thank you for
kind
thinking of my feelings.
Very nice.
Our top story is the story that everybody's talking about, and that is we think we've locked in on a solid release date for Windows 8. That's right, B-Man. Check it out. They're expecting the first release candidate in June.
June,
very soon, very soon. And then if things stick to the previous Windows timelines, which they're kind of going back over Windows from Windows 2000, Vista, and 7, they've kind of noticed these trends. And what they think is that will land us for a very tight October launch. It might not be perfect. They might have to push a little bit, but right now we're on target to actually get the final code version.
October. That's crazy soon.
That does seem really soon. I mean,
didn't we just get Windows 7?
Well, I guess the consumer preview we just got our hands on, but we, the developers out there have had it for a little while.
No, I mean Windows 7.
Oh, Windows 7.
Yeah.
8. No,
we've had Windows 7 for, it seems like not that long, right?
It's been a few years, dude.
Has it really?
Let's see. Windows 7 shipped in October of 2008.
Oh, okay. So 3 years.
Yeah.
So 3 years between releases. I guess that's not that fast. It feels fast.
It does feel fast.
It feels peppy. I mean, how long do we have XP for? Like 17 years, right?
Dude, we still have XP. All the major installations that are big Windows shops are still XP.
Can I say this?
Sure.
Thank God for XP.
Right?
Right on.
Talk about the classic stable platform.
Right.
And now, with today's computers, super minimal resources. You could throw it on it's
mega fast.
It is a great way to reuse old hardware, like schools and things like that have old PCs that they'd otherwise throw out that they don't get any use out of.
It's the best way to reuse those old hardware. Yeah.
Windows XP with Service Pack 3 and Firefox is a great combination.
It's unbeatable.
Yeah. So heck, that's what I run around my house just because it's so darn fast. I don't need all the other stuff. I don't really need all the other stuff. All right, well, this next story is really something. This is a fantastic precedent that us as end users are absolutely thrilled about. Now,
ready.
This story I've followed pretty closely, and I'm wondering if you've heard about it. It kind of got some traction. We talked about it in even more detail in TechSnap, as is generally our trend. And Microsoft has taken a major blow at the Zeus botnets. Now, these Zeus botnets, we've covered them in TechSnap.
What the heck is a Zeus botnet?
They are some particularly nasty groups of botnetters.
I like the little picture. They're adorable.
Yeah,
they're adorable. It's a bunch of guys in sunglasses with little queen crowns on.
Right. So they particularly went after financial institutions and things like that.
Start dressing like that.
and they would control like malware-infested PCs and whatnot. And
Nice.
So Microsoft started something that's kind of...
And it runs on Windows.
Right.
Sweet. Yet one more thing that runs on Windows
well.
that a lot of crazy other platforms don't have.
Buckle up for this one, B-Man.
It's like example number 5 billion.
Tell me if you've ever heard of something like this before. Using, thankfully, a 1970s law called the RICO Act, Microsoft was able to get a federal search warrant to enter the premises of this building and seize their equipment.
Whoa.
And this RICO Act, this is a great act. So, you know, since 1970, it's been used for a lot of great things. I'll link to it in the show notes. You know, things like Catholic sex abuse scandal bus, police department bus, Major League Baseball scandals, pro-life activist bus, all kinds of, you know, just all over the board kinds of things that you could use something like. So Microsoft really picked a real winner here because obviously it's a great tool. It's a great example of U.S. lawmaking. And but they have to provide a chain of evidence to a court, and they did that. And then once they did that, the court issued them a federal warrant. Now check this out. Our local news station, Cairo 7, you know, pretty proud of our hometown heroes.
Hometown, Microsoft's backyard.
Hometown heroes. And so they just took this PR video straight from Microsoft and said, we don't need to put any spin on this. We don't need to give you our opinion.
Can we play it?
Here it is. Check it out, B-Man. This is from our local TV station, and they have a video of what Microsoft likes to call, instead of guns, they show up with briefcases, and they enter the premises with briefcases. Now, don't worry, though, B-Man. They weren't unprotected. U.S. Marshals were there with guns.
They had backup?
They had backup.
That's right.
Yeah, they had U.S. Marshals.
My boys roll with backup.
Yeah, so here you go. These are the boys at Microsoft. These are actual Microsoft employees. The guy they were just showing there is a new lawyer for Microsoft. He's actually a former federal investigator himself. He now works for Microsoft and has sort of headed up this project. And the way it works is...
check out that logo. Microsoft Digital Crimes Unit.
He heads up the Digital Crime Unit.
That should totally be a TV show.
These guys, they go in and they collect the evidence, and they actually run that part of the case.
Forget CSI, MSDCU.
Right? Well, and think about this. Think about how great it is for Microsoft in terms of time saving. Because if they're the ones collecting the evidence and they're also the ones that are leading the case against them, that saves a ton of time in court.
Dude, it's like Judge Dredd.
It's perfect.
They've turned into Sylvester Stallone, and they are Judge Dredd.
So here you go. So here is...
I am the law.
So yeah, and you'll notice too in the Microsoft video,
Which is awesome, by the way.
They opted not to show the U.S. Marshals, but I assure you they are there.
Cool.
Because that is part of the way the act works.
Digital Crimes Unit. They have a logo.
So a pretty interesting precedent where a private company goes in, gets a federal search warrant, enters a premises, seizes equipment, and then sues those people in court.
Bam! That is efficiency and awesomeness.
I think this is a way better approach than like anti-malware tools. And you know, you think about it, you could do this way easier than it is to patch an operating system too. So,
well, wait. I mean, come on.
Here's the thing.
With Microsoft Security Essentials, you really don't need any additional anti-malware tools. It kind of covers everything you ever would need. This is like the in real life complement to that anti-malware suite that Microsoft now provides to us. So really what you're telling me is it's kind of like in-person Microsoft Security Essentials.
Exactly.
That's so sweet.
And thanks to that RICO Act, they can actually just enter without permission too. So we don't have to worry about them like having legalese bottlenecks to stopping this stuff. So that's just great in my opinion.
They should just rename it to MS RICO. That'd be awesome.
All right, B-Man. This is kind of an interesting story. Now, you know, of course, Microsoft is constantly fighting the good fight against Google.
Constantly.
Yeah. And it's been alleged. Now, I wouldn't normally run with this story, but it comes from the perfect, always on point Paul Thurrott over at winsupersite.com. So whenever Paul Thurrott talks about something, it's pretty much fact.
Yeah. Holy Grail stamped in stone,
and,
Paul Thurrott.
Microsoft allegedly issues an antitrust complaint against Google Plus. What's pretty wild about this is coming from Reuters, and this isn't even the first anti-suit complaint that Microsoft filed this week against Google.
Boom!
2 in 1 week.
Boomsies!
That's right. Microsoft is apparently not the only one involved in the complaint as well, although Reuters said they would not share the other parties' names. Sources are noting there's a certain sensitivity.
It's Ted.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Microsoft and Ted.
Yeah. Sources say that it's a sensitive case because of the nature of the complaint and because Microsoft has already lobbied another complaint against them, so they're kind of keeping things hush-hush. But maybe Microsoft will make Google pay for launching that.
It's not that they're going hush-hush. It's just Microsoft doesn't need to brag, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what? They don't need to get all showy about stuff.
Yeah, you're probably
Here's the thing. When you win, you win.
That's right.
And you don't have to say it. You'd be like, you know what? I won. you shake hands and you go home. You don't need to issue a press release saying, I won, suckers. You just win. And then everyone remembers. Boom.
Word. All right, B-Man, next story on the news docket should make all those freetards shut up in their face.
Freetards.
Check this out, B-Man. I didn't see this coming at all. Microsoft has made the source code for ASP.NET MVC available under an open source license with the version 1 release. They've also integrated it with their open source code management system called Codeplex, which uses Git now. It also will ship with jQuery and a bunch of other JavaScript crap. It'll also come with JSON.NET as part of it, but not stopping there. They're also announcing the code for ASP.NET Web APIs and ASP.NET Web Pages, aka Razor, will also be under an open source license.
Under the Codeplex.
Apache 2.0, which will also be on the Codeplex.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And of course, Codeplex is kind of like Microsoft's...
it's their open source platform.
Yeah.
It's their open source. It's like their version of SourceForge, basically. Kind of, sort of. We actually have some listeners of the Windows Action Show that work over on Codeplex and related projects.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Well, so the reason I found out about this is because...
Respect.
True enough, I actually got contacted by a fan of the show who said that the people there on this project are really, really excited about this going open source, and they're kind of hoping this will spread around. And you know what? If you go on to there's some Microsoft blogs out there that are tracking the story, there's an actual genuine, a lot of enthusiasm about this stuff going open source. So, I've never seen the point of open source.
No, let's be honest.
I think everybody needs to be able to pay for a sandwich, so I don't get open source.
Prediction.
Okay.
Prediction.
You think it's going to go close in a month?
1 year from now,
1 year?
ASP.NET will be dead. No one will use it, and it'll be because they went open source.
Oh.
Whereas if they would have kept it in-house, put some real commercial dollars behind it, boom, they would have had consistent new versions. ASP.NET would rule the world.
You're probably right.
And people would be running IIS over the Native American thing that a bunch of the hippies are running. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
The what's it called? Apache. Whatever.
Not familiar with that.
So,
like IIS?
It's kind of like IIS, but without a cool GUI.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, right?
I don't have time
if
for
I
that.
can't right click and go manage computer or whatever I don't. Yeah. So, but ASP.NET is going to go away because they open sourced it, and Microsoft's going to be what?
Maybe, B-Man.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have to, you know what? We'll play, we always do our Windows Action Show predictions at the beginning of the year, so maybe we'll review.
I should have included this one in my predictions.
We'll revisit that.
You could have seen it coming.
Well, maybe
writing on the walls.
We'll remember to include it. All right, B-Man. Well, that's all the news for this week.
As my dear co-host pointed out to me, it has really been just about 3 years since Windows 7 came out.
It's true, B-Man.
It seems like it's only been a year or so.
Well,
but I think part of that is that time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Windows 7, we all like Windows 7. Windows 7's been great. But obviously, in order to compete with all of these gadgets and gizmos and doodads, Microsoft's got to come out with something new. Something new that really works both on desktops as well as the tablets and everything else. And true to form, Microsoft comes along with something that not just gets the job done, but just crushes the competition. Just steamrollers everything.
I always picture a giant gorilla stomping on stuff.
A gorilla?
Yeah.
I go steamroller.
Yeah.
I go steamroller with a big old Windows flag on it.
That's not bad, B-Man. So, of course, what Microsoft has taken...
Maybe Steve Ballmer's face on the roller part. So as you're getting crushed, it's a giant Steve Ballmer head going...
With his tongue sticking out. With his tongue sticking out.
Yeah, it takes you down. Man, if that doesn't incite fear into the hearts of anyone else, I don't know.
So Microsoft has a real problem that they need to solve here. They have a lot of different UI interfaces across some very different types of revolutionary industry-leading products.
So true.
Like the Xbox 360, like Windows 7 Phone, and now like the massive desktop.
Right.
And it would be great. I mean, we've always fantasized about having one UI to rule them all.
One UI across all of those devices.
Yeah.
And luckily with Windows 8, that's what we're getting. They're bringing the best of Windows Phone 7, Metro UI, over to the desktop.
And we've got it loaded up right here in studio. That is the actual start screen. If you haven't seen Windows 8 before, that's the first thing that comes up when you log in.
And this is really what you're living in. This is the screen that you're going to spend a large amount of your time. If you're not actively using a particular app, that's the screen that you're checking out. Now, so I wanted to start one step before that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out.
All right.
Now, here what you're going to see is a screen.
Yeah.
This is a nice, attractive, simple screen. Now, Chris...
Kind of makes me want to meditate, B-Man.
At first, I was looking at this screen. I was like, wow, what a nice picture frame. But then I was like, great. So now it's time to log in and get some work done. Here's what's super cool. There's no login button.
No.
There's no user account.
No.
But what you do is...
It's all clutter. That's all clutter.
Well, I mean, see, here's the thing.
It
makes total sense if you've got a touch screen. Because when you see a screen you don't want, what do you do? What do you do? Put the picture up back on me. You're like, you know what? Get this away.
Get that away.
Get this away. You swipe the hand up. So you go like this.
You
boom.
Look at that.
And it's gone.
So you slide it up and then you can log in.
And then you log in. Now, here's the great thing. Now, it goes from, again, let's see. Can I go back? No, I can't. I can't go back. I can go forward.
Yeah.
I can go forward. But it goes from that beautiful screen to this one. Now, that's what's great. So then it immediately drops you into the new start menu.
Yeah.
Now, the new start menu is awesome for a couple of reasons. My favorite of which is how flat it is. Can we put that full screen?
Sure, there you go. Oh, not that one.
Now, notice how ginormous that is.
That takes up a lot of space.
It's a lot of space.
At the same time, it's also, it is conveying a fair amount of information. Like, look there. Because that icon's so large, I can clearly tell that's the calendar.
Well, that's the thing. Whether this is a small screen, a big screen, go ahead and leave that up there for a second. Okay. Now, let's say, you want to find what you want to do. Obviously, one of the things you're going to want to do right off the bat, let's play some solitaire.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is, if you've got a touch screen, these are all super easy to click on because they're so huge and flat.
Like, or what I think about, like, I have a 28-inch monitor in my office.
Yeah.
I mean, I just imagine that. I actually think that could sort of change the way I approach my home office. I don't need a monitor that large because
you really don't.
You could see the way it uses the space. That would kind of just be a waste to have a big screen. So I could probably consolidate down to like a 17-inch monitor and then reclaim some of that office space.
Dude, that
and
would
save some money.
You could save a ton of money.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I mean, I already have the monitor, but I could use it for something
honestly,
else.
Dude, what's going to pollute the environment more, a 15-inch monitor or a 30-inch monitor?
Well, I already have the 30-inch monitor.
But I mean, if you're buying a new one.
The 30-inch monitor pollutes more.
Right. So now new monitors, all 15 inches, pollutes the environment by half.
No, this is green.
Size-wise.
This is green.
It's green.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's go back to this shot. So, okay, so let's just go ahead and dive in here. This is the Metro UI. Everything's nice and square. Yeah. Let's go ahead and launch Solitaire. So Solitaire's popping up. Now, it flips around and it's flat again. Full screen, which is the way Solitaire was meant to be played.
Right. I mean, in real life, you play it full screen.
Absolutely. Go back to the Solitaire screen for a second here. Because Solitaire's loading.
Yes.
So
it's a big game.
Well, hold on a sec. Let's just wait. Let's give it a.
Oh. Did you click it?
Let me click that again. Let me click Solitaire.
Okay,
again.
there we go. This is always embarrassing when you have demo fails.
Well, it happens to everyone on every platform.
It'll probably go this time.
It'll go this time.
I mean, Solitaire's not like it's not like you're.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Okay. So apps are full screen now.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about that is it forces you to focus.
Oh,
it just
crashed again.
On Solitaire.
Let's try something else, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we'll just come back to Solitaire later.
All right, we'll come back
to Solitaire later. But I mean, here's the thing. It looks like Solitaire, and that's what's cool. So, but here's the thing. It's a new version of Solitaire.
And it's full screen.
Yeah. So one of the cool things about these Metro apps, which are different from the standard Windows apps, is that they're all full screen using the new Metro UI. And most of the time, Microsoft is encouraging people to develop them all in JavaScript.
Right, that's a good point.
And here's what's neat about that. They could come out with Windows 8 running on ARM processors, running on x86 processors, running on any processor, and those apps will still run great. And because Microsoft's got the .NET framework, those will all run on any of those processors too. And there are ways to generate Metro UI apps for both of those targets. So then they can go in here and they can build Metro full screen apps that work on everything. Here, let me just load up Internet Explorer then real quick.
Now, Internet Explorer is interesting. The experience has changed a little bit in the full screen version here. Here, there you go. There's the full screen shot. Just give it a sec. I'm not so sure why it's. Well, maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we come back to that one.
We'll come back to IE.
Yeah.
All right,
you know what I would like to talk about? Actually,
let's go switch away from that.
I've got an update. So here is what the Windows 8 blue screen will look like.
Oh, it's so much nicer.
Very clean, very elegant.
So much nicer.
Unfortunately, it did crash on my machine over here. So, but I thought I would use that opportunity to show you guys what it looks like. Brian is still.
Switch back.
Yeah.
No, it wiggled a little bit.
No, I don't think it's going, man.
I swear to God, it moved.
No, I don't think it's going. Let me show you one of the features that I like quite a bit about Windows 8 that I think you might like too. If you have people like, your family at home and they screw up their machine a lot, Windows 8 will introduce something called push button reset. And this push button reset is a software function that you hit that, it actually reloads the Windows 8 operating system back to stock.
No way.
And then re-downloads your Metro apps from the Metro App Store. And then downloads your data if they save it in the cloud, and sort of resets you back to beginning.
Just boom, start a do-over button basically.
None of your classic
you
Explorer,
just declare. They should just call it the mulligan button.
Well, it's the push button reset.
I love it.
Internet Explorer is still
loading.
So it won't restore your classic desktops like your Microsoft AX or your Microsoft Office.
I'm gonna go ahead and reset the machine. I'm gonna reset this.
Or like any Microsoft games or like Photoshop. Those kinds of things won't be restored. But push button reset only supports restoring Metro apps.
Go back to the shot here. Okay,
yeah, the new Windows 8 bootloader.
This is the new Windows 8 bootloader with the Windows 8 fish.
I think that will change before launch.
I kind of like the fish.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
Fish. All right. So I'm gonna log in here.
Yep.
Boom.
Can I talk about Castro for a second?
Oh yeah, go ahead and talk about.
Well, so this is something that we maybe should give a little attention to. One of the things Windows 8 does is it'll have you by default log in with your Windows Live ID, which, with the introduction of Windows 8, will be renamed to your Microsoft account. And once you log in with your Windows Live ID, it imports a lot of your information settings, like your credit card information, if you have that on file.
Boom, it just knows.
It just has.
God, that's so handy, because I hate typing that sucker in.
I know, right? And unfortunately,
I typed this in on my Xbox, call it good.
Long-time fans of the show might know that my name is not Castro.
I have heard that.
Right. So there was some sort of import mistake, and I was imported with my credit card information and my birthday.
So you're good.
My address.
Perfect.
But somebody else's name and somebody else's Instant Messenger account. And it also auto-signed me into Windows Live Messenger, and I started getting IMs for that person.
Oh, whoops.
So there's definitely some kinks.
It's a preview, guys.
It's a preview.
It's a preview. This sort of thing happens.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
No.
I'm sure they'll get it fixed in the next month or two.
Now, Brian and I were devastated when they discontinued the Windows. Or did they discontinue Windows Home Server? Something like that.
They stopped doing Windows Home Server because Windows Home Server is pretty pimp.
Yeah. Well, Windows 8 is here to solve that problem for you when you're not jumping around in the Metro UI. Badingo, check this out. Windows 8 storage spaces. Think one part Drobo, think one part drive extender.
Yeah.
It allows you to take a bunch of disks that are not really related, add them all into a single volume, and then partition them out. And it looks like it's going to allow you to re-add new space as you need.
Internet Explorer launch!
Hey, there it goes.
All right.
Now you notice they put the URL bar at the bottom. I thought that was
URLs down at the bottom
that's
there.
That's pretty revolutionary. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, okay. Looked like it wasn't going. There you go. So that's exciting.
Hold on, I'm gonna load stuff up.
Okay. Now this is the new version of Internet Explorer. You can see how super fast it was there.
It actually is really fast, and it's all full screen again because I mean the whole point, if you're doing something, you want to do it big, right?
Yeah.
I mean, go big or go home is what I've always said.
Right.
Now here's the thing. So let's say you load up Internet Explorer, and you loaded up the new version in their Metro UI, and you've got a web page up. Now this is cool. So I've got some text here. Oh, cool. There's a new version of TextSnap out.
You might want to copy that.
So I'm going to copy and paste that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now,
copy.
There you go.
Right-click, copy. Boom.
Nice.
All right.
Like
now
that's big enough that you could touch it and you can't miss it with the mouse.
You can't miss it with the mouse. Now I want to go ahead and paste that into a text document.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and launch Notepad. So let's go back here to the Metro Start UI.
Right.
And find Notepad.
I pinned it.
Notepad.
Right over there.
You pinned it there for me.
Boom.
Now this is going to bring you back into this traditional Windows desktop.
Oh.
Works great. Nice, works great. Now let's say you want to go ahead and launch some other application. Let's say you want to launch Paint or something like that.
Go in, or just, heck, go back to Internet Explorer, whatever. You just go down to the Start menu.
No, here's what you do. There's no Start menu down here anymore. It just doesn't exist. But here's how you launch programs in Windows 8.
I added the computer icon to the desktop so that because normally that's not there.
It's normally not there.
Right.
You have to
go add it. Yeah. So I added it there.
So once you've added the computer icon to the desktop, you go into your C drive. Takes a little bit.
Yeah, give it a sec. It's just on an SSD, so those SSDs are kind of slow. Not fully optimized. I think it locked up.
I think it locked up on me. All right, so you talk for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and fix this.
All right.
Got to reset this machine.
This might help you out because Windows 8 introduces a whole lot of new things, and one of them is new key combinations. Check it out, B-Man.
Luckily, I really like looking at the fish.
Yeah.
I really dig the fish thing. I mean, the fish... Okay, go ahead and talk. I gotta fix this.
One of the things you could do where there used to be a Start menu and there's just now a blank spot. I really don't like that. I honestly don't. But I'm trying to make the switch.
Okay. Back to me. There we go. Okay, so I'm here. I go ahead and load in my computer.
Okay.
Load in the C drive.
Yeah.
Program files. So it'll
go
be
into like say
where would they put the paint? You think?
Try x86. Maybe Paint's still 32-bit.
Same whether it's x86 or not. I think they point to the same folder. Common files.
No,
Microsoft
I don't
shared?
think it's no.
Oh.
God, I really wish they just put the start menu back in.
Where's the search button?
There you go.
Search for.
Yeah.
Paint.
Oh boy.
So what you'll do is you load up Explorer.
Yeah, and it just uses the system-wide. Oh,
I know Paint's in there. It's in there somewhere. I'm gonna search here.
Maybe we should go download like a third-party start menu.
Paint.
Huh.
There
you go.
No, that's a. Okay, well, this is going to search for a while. Let's talk about other stuff.
All right, well, so check this out. There's actually a ton of new key combos introduced with Windows 8, B-Man. You've seen the lock screen. You've seen a lot about the start menu.
I found it!
Oh, you did?
I found a shortcut for it. Boom. And watch this double-click. Boom!
There's Paint.
Paint.
There's Paint.
So you get to feel right at home. You've got all the tools you ever wanted. The thing is, if you came from Windows 7 or Windows XP or Windows Vista, you know which tools you want to use. So what you just need to do is you need to remember what they're called, load up Explorer, click on the C drive so that it searches in the C drive, and then type in the name for it.
If you think about it, once you get it down, it's going to be easier than clicking the start menu and then clicking on the app.
It makes more sense. Now, the cool thing is, once you've got it up like this, watch this. See all this cluttered, all this confusion? There's so many windows open. I've got this window here.
I can't tell what's going on.
There's this Windows. Why is that pink there? I don't know. But you're like tired of this. I can't figure this out. Boom, you hit the start button.
Bam.
Everything's a flat square
and
again.
it's all gone now. It's
Boom,
all gone.
Gone.
Yeah, that's
gone.
Nice.
Now here's the cool thing.
It's like I'm swept away to a dreamland.
So now let's say you've got all of these apps here. Now, look, you're thinking of yourself, oh my God, that is a wall of flat apps.
Right.
I can't handle this.
Right.
So it's easy to go ahead and organize them.
Now, Brian,
by what did I click? Oh, that helps.
Yeah, that's kind of like a start menu.
That's a start menu. Okay.
So, Brian, do you think it'll be easier to sort of process all of these once the third-party ones are in and they're animated with little images and data and things?
Totally, that's going to make it help. That's going to totally just solve it.
Can you launch Explorer really quick? I'd like to talk about
Internet Explorer.
No, not Internet Explorer.
Well, here's the thing. You remember how we were in Internet Explorer before?
Yeah.
It's back.
It's back. It
locked up.
You got to reboot.
I got to reboot.
Well, I can talk about it. I can talk about it while you reboot.
Really, for a consumer preview, that's not bad. I mean, that's only 3 reboots.
You got till June till you got to worry about the release schedule.
Right. Go ahead and talk for a minute.
Okay. I want to talk about Explorer because one of the things that they're doing to kind of make it easier to use. Now, you don't really see it in this screenshot. So, B-Man, once you get Explorer up, once you get back in there, get Explorer.
All right, here we go. And here's another thing that people just aren't talking about much is the fast boot times. They have really improved the boot times. All right,
so bring up Explorer.
Explorer is loaded up.
If you click something like that little arrow over by the help button there,
boom.
You see ribbon everywhere now, B-Man.
Ribbon everywhere.
The ribbon is in everything.
Not everything. I mean, except for Metro apps.
Right.
Right.
No, the ribbon is like this new UI that's going to be in all the classic stuff.
All the classic apps.
Yeah.
That are built with the ribbon UI.
Right.
Yeah. But it's cool. Look at how easy that is.
Yeah, that's right there. Pretty much everything you have there. So we've got links in the show notes to ways you can use Windows 8 with buttons and keys and stuff.
Solitaire still don't run.
But I think really what this is telling me I need to start budgeting now for a touch PC in October.
Right?
Yeah. So that way
because you need a touch so that you can do the swoop to log in.
We didn't even get to show the control. If you hover the mouse in the bottom right corner there. And then click on the gear. That's the universal thing for settings. Yeah. And then go to settings. No, that wasn't it.
Show administrative
but that
tools.
kind of shows. You see, everything's got these big toggle switches
show
now.
administrative tools.
So that'll be much easier for touching.
All right.
And that's also how you shut down, by the way.
This also shows you, where you can adjust the volume. So here's how you adjust the volume. Let's walk through this step by step because this is important stuff because really this is a whole new UI paradigm.
Paradigm.
All right. Full screen this. All right, so you want to adjust the volume. There's this little 5-pixel wide button down here in the bottom right.
Yeah.
That looks like a magnifying glass with a chair next to it.
Nope,
Whoa! Don't click it. I gotta go back. Hold on. Okay. No. Go back. All right, there we go. All right, don't click it. Just hover over it for a second. And then you notice a bunch of things pop up.
Yeah,
searching, sharing, start, which you already had. So
and they're all kind of vague, so that way Microsoft can change what they do later on, and it doesn't really screw anybody up.
But are they easy to see? Absolutely. So we click on settings. Here we go. We've clicked on settings. Great.
Yeah.
Now we've got this little slider here.
And I think I could touch that pretty easily.
I can touch that pretty easy. Well, I mean, I can touch this button easily. This one's a little too small.
Well, maybe,
But, you know, I break out a stylus. And really, you don't use a finger, you use a stylus.
Yeah, I can
obviously.
see that. I mean, for that kind of stuff, but the Metro UI big
icon, more PC settings. Found it.
Here we go. So this is sort of the new version of the control panel. And it lets you do things like personalize the background color of the Metro UI. And set
personalize.
Cool. Go to start screen. See, you can change the color of the still.
You can change which way you want the swigglies to look. There's like swigglies that way and this way. And
there's about 30 colors down there you can choose from. Maybe 25.
I think 8. One of them's this green color.
I wouldn't.
Okay, I gotta think of something nice. I'm breaking the believability here.
Well, we got links.
Dude, well, here's the thing.
People
this
can
makes
follow
it
up links in the show notes.
It makes it look more web pagey. And let's be honest, this is about being web pagey, and that's what's cool.
I think it makes it look old school, like a terminal.
Old school.
Yeah,
it looks like a terminal.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of terminal, boom, start key, boom,
command prompt.
Boom. There it is. Boom. Watch this. VER. Microsoft Windows version 6.2.8250. Boom. How much memory do I got? Oh, they don't do that anymore.
That's how you know it's legit,
There's no RAM, though.
Well, B-Man, I mean, I think that's a pretty good look at that. And, of course, you know here on the Windows Action Show, we're going to have a review of the RC when that comes out.
As soon as a release candidate's available, we'll go through it. And you know what? There's issues, sure. But I think the key here is revolutionary UI.
Yeah.
And here's what's
One
interesting.
UI to rule them all.
Here's what's really interesting. Sure, some people are like, oh man, Microsoft's being all responsive to Android tablets and internet pads and things like that. But really, there's nobody out there, no one from the Mac camp, from the Google camp, or the Linux camp that are doing anything revolutionary like this. No one's experimenting with the UI. No one's taking it a step further. I mean, there's just nothing like that happening. Microsoft's where the innovation is at. Again, boom, go back full screen.
Boom.
Look at how flat that is.
And green.
Have you ever seen a UI that flat?
No.
I never have. And this is what's been pissing me off about computers since time immemorial.
I know.
When you see a button, it looks like the button's sticking out a little bit, so like it's a physical button.
I blame Steve Jobs. It sets a bad expectation.
It sets a bad expectation.
Although there is some irony now that we're actually going to be able to reach out and touch them, that they've gone flat and they're no longer buttons. But, I mean, that's just sort of how it works, you know?
Shut up, dude. Flat is the way to go. Flat, separated by no borders, and just like a couple of pixels of squiggly green.
Right. And different varying sizes. Not really.
You know what else I like?
I like the dynamic sizes.
Notice how the main area, it's basically like four icons high by a couple of icons wide. And notice there's a big border around the side and a big border along the top that says start, where you could fit like 2 or 3 more rows of icons. But they don't. They're like, you know what? That would be too confusing. Let's give some space, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just relax. Have some empty space. You picked a desktop background. Look at it for a while. Enjoy it.
Well, if you put whole rows up there, Brian, it'd be too much. And then you imagine when they're all animated and flipping all the time, I'd have a seizure.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is what pisses me off.
That border actually is probably for human safety.
Watch this. We'll go to the desktop.
Okay.
Notice here.
I was wrapping us up on this.
Hey, Chris. What's your desktop wallpaper?
You
can't even see it.
Can't tell you.
Boom.
Okay.
Start Metro menu. You can see the wallpaper because it never fills that up when you're on the start
that's
menu.
true.
Yeah. So you see it.
I mean, it's always kind of the same image, though. I wish I could change that if I'm always going to be able to see it. But I mean, maybe in the release candidate.
Dude, there's like 5 different.
Yeah, that's true. And
anyway, but yeah, this is
squigglies.
And here's the thing: it's fast.
Yeah.
The apps do load a lot. Watch this. Solitaire.
Come on.
Please launch.
We probably should have just left this one be.
All right, but it's gonna launch. It's gonna be great.
We'll probably get it after the segment.
This is definitely worth checking out. We'll get it after the segment. It's definitely worth checking out. Windows 8 Preview, Consumer Edition. It's available now, and it's free to use, and that's pretty cool.
All right, B-Man. That's the Windows Action Show's look at Windows 8 Consumer Preview.
And that brings us to the end of this week's epic, awesome episode of the Windows Action Show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Let's see, do we have anything we need to talk about on the way out here?
Well, B-Man, last week we covered, we wrapped up our 55-part series in Windows games that we did, and we ended it with a free game called Zonotic. Zonotic was a big hit in the action audience, and Price TX in the chat room set out and built a Jupiter Broadcasting Zonotic server. And so now you can go to zonotic.jupitercolony.com or just search for Jupiter Colony in the multiplayer list.
Boom!
We just launched it this week. It already became one of the most popular Zonotic servers in the multiplayer world. And if you want, once you're playing, you can submit your stats to the community-wide leaderboards and all that kind of stuff.
Rad!
I did an in-depth look on it. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. It tells you more about the game. It also tells you how to connect to the server, about the leaderboards, and things like that.
That is rad times a million.
Yeah,
I love the hell out of that.
Big thanks to Price TX for setting that up for us. And, of course, thanks to Alan over at Scale Engine for providing the hosting for that. What have you been up to, B-Man?
I'm making a new game. A brand new video game.
What?
Yeah, well, you know, I made one video game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was fun.
Yeah.
I should do it again.
Yeah.
So I got a new video game coming out. Now, bear with me, guys.
Whoa.
I'm calling the game Linux Tycoon. Now, I know.
Is that an inside joke?
It's a little bit of an inside joke.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
Everybody knows we're Windows fanboys.
But here's the thing. Runs great on Windows. You know, obviously. But this allows you to build a Linux distro from Windows.
Experience the pain without ever having to leave the comfort of Windows.
You never have to leave the comfort of Windows.
Yeah.
But you get to do the enjoyable part of building a Linux distro, which is, you know, never touching Linux, from your nice Windows environment right there. So keep an eye. That comes out actually tomorrow morning. It comes out on Monday. So if you go over to lunduke.com, you'll see the big announcement of that good old thing there. Runs on Windows and some other platforms too.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't presume.
You know, if I don't have to work at it, it'll come out on other platforms.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I think they have a Windows emulator that they can use that emulates Windows. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
All right,
I think so.
Well, I think that's just about all we have. Oh, we should mention
you know what they could do if they're not on a Windows machine, they can emulate Windows. Just run like a copy of Virtual PC and load it up on their machines, and boom, install the Windows.
Totally. All right, so the Windows Action Show is totally live over at jblive.tv Sunday mornings, and then we release for download Sunday afternoons where you can leave comments, get the show in just about any dang format you'd want.
So many formats.
Subscribe to RSS feeds, so then you just get it automatically, all those kinds of things.
Shabammy.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All right, everyone.
I don't want to talk about anything else except hopefully you guys appreciate this. Right here, see this shirt? Boom.
That's old school.
That's old school logo right here. Boom, boom.
Wait, don't tell them what it is. Maybe let's see if anybody knows.
Yeah, if you guys actually know what the hell that is.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Windows Action Show, and we'll be right back here next week.